So, Brandon, last week, we get a little bit of a come-behind victory. You get a huge comeback victory. And then this week, your team's looking good all 4 quarters. My team's looking good for 2 quarters. Both get big wins. What do you think that means?
Ooh, I think it means the Broncos don't need to tie the Dallas Cowboys. So if push comes to shove, the Broncos better than the Packers.
I'm glad I cheated on you with Tree last night. That's it. We did.
Wait, what?
G3S is what we did last night, and we did it on this StreamYard too. Oh, that's right. Tree was all over it, and he did not clean up afterwards. So you know what? Suck it. That's what you get. We here.
Stay.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is GP. Yes.
All right. Before we really get into this crazy week 8, Tom. Okay. There's a lot to talk about today, but I got 2 things. First,
there's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
Okay, so that is part 1.
Very low.
Part 2. What's going on here? What's going on here, Tom? What is happening here, Tom?
Only you, Perna.
Only you. Oh, Georgie. Oh, you are talented. Oh my God, you are talented.
Man of many talents. That's it. Both of us happy once again on a Monday, both having big time wins in games that we were both pretty nervous about, right? And I mean, we talked about the Cowboys like, oh man, that offense has looked really good. Dak is not turning the ball over. This might be a game where the Broncos lose. They came out and actually played 4 straight quarters, which is incredible. Their offense looked a lot better. And I know Cowboys defense is, nothing too great.
No, still, it's worse than I thought.
Big time win for the Denver Broncos yesterday.
Yeah, you take the wins when you can get them. Sean Payton was pretty cocky after the game about their victory, talking about the best defense going up against the best offense and how the Broncos worked them and how it's been better than some of the other offenses the Broncos have played this season. When Sean talks, he really tries to offend as many people throughout the NFL as he can.
And here's what I don't like about Sean Payton, okay? He doesn't even own it. He backpedals because when the Russell Wilson thing came out, which was all the shade at Russell, he's like, well, no, I didn't mean any of those comments. Just own it, Sean. All right? If you're going to talk smack, just back it on up.
Back it on up.
Yeah,
dude, it was it was nice to see the Broncos score points every single quarter of the game. So that was new. That was new for us. And I was nervous 0% really. I mean, he threw a terrible interception to start the game. Just behind Pat Bryant. I don't know if Bo thought Pat was doing something else or if it was just a shitty throw.
Bo picks.
But then, Denver stops Dallas in the red zone there, holds them to 3. Unfortunately, Pat Surtain, he hurt his ankle or shin there. Then he came back into the game, and then he got hurt again. So basically, we're waiting to see how Pat Surtain, how his shoulder injury is, what the extent of that is. But after that first pick. Bo was incredible. He played his best game. Anytime Dallas scored a touchdown, the Broncos answered with the touchdown. Haven't seen their offense do that at all this year.
Literally at all.
All the rookies showed up. So RJ Harvey had 3 touchdowns in this game. Pat Bryant had a touchdown in this game. Jahdae Barron had an interception right before halftime that just ensured the Cowboys would walk into halftime without getting any points. So they were doing everything well. Even, it sucks because I think like the NFL officials hate Riley Moss. I know that. Anytime he does anything, they're going to throw a flag on him. And they threw 3 flags on him for pass interference on one play. And then he got dinged again 2 plays later, even though he was just playing good defense. And, Riley was going against CeeDee Lamb. So they had Surtain. He was on Pitkins when he was in the game. Riley, I thought, had a really nice game. I don't know if he's going to get it talked about a bunch this week, but he played really well. J.K. Dobbins, over 100 yards. And I feel great. I feel so confident about my team right now. And I'm trying to tell myself it's just the Cowboys defense. It's just the Cowboys defense. Sure. They were worst in yards allowed, 29th in points allowed. And I think the Broncos ensured their worst in points allowed after this game. And we play the Texans this coming week. So we're going from the worst defense to quite literally, I still think Houston best scoring defense in the league. So I'm going to gauge the Broncos offense as a whole after this upcoming week, but I'm enjoying this victory today, Tom.
It's a good test too, right? I mean, because you're able to, I think, forcing Dak into some turnovers. By the way, this is for you, Perna. You got yourself a little fitty there.
Oh, yeah. And then questions about what the curse wheel's doing this week. We don't really know. I got a new clip for you. There you go, BDM, which stands for Brandon Does Magic.
But the thing that I would worry about more so in Washington is the other day I text Andy Reid and I got a text back and I thought it was Andy Reid, but it's some guy selling pigs, but it sounded good. I should have told y'all that so y'all would have thought I actually talked to Andy Reid, but I didn't really talk to Andy Reid.
It's the stunned look of his co-host that really, it's just like, oh, all right, you text Andy Reid, sure. No, it was a guy selling pigs.
Yeah. Huh?
It was the... Don't you hate when you text the pig man?
Yeah.
Andy Reid.
It was a pig man, Jerry. A pig man. Oh my God. Yeah, that I couldn't stop watching that yesterday.
How much is he getting paid per year? What's the math on that contract? Legend.
I honestly, to be fair, that is my future. That is my future.
God,
you and me.
May we all have that future.
70 years old or whatever. You'll be talking about TV. Like I texted Sean Payton. It wasn't Sean Payton. It was
the squirrel guy.
Was my cow feed guy. Guy trying to sell me chicken cow broth. It's like, Terry, what? I wish I didn't see what he said after that, but
would it be? I mean, I want to know what the pig man said. After that, because what is he texting me? Think it's Andy Reid, and he's like, "Yeah, great game last week against the Raiders," and he's like, "All right, are you gonna buy these hogs or what? What are we doing here?" Listen,
honestly, just give me Terry Bradshaw and Gronk for the pregame show. That's all I want.
Big boo,
Terry Gronk.
So for real quick though, for the Broncos, you kind of look at what they've done this season, that defense being consistent. And I think that was one of the big game changers because the Cowboys offense, they didn't get it going, right? It was whether it was stalling out in the red zone, whether it was the interceptions, and Dak did not have his best game. And I think the fact that you could do that to a really good offense, that makes you feel really good, right?
Yeah.
It's okay, this is a high-powered offense that we're able to stop. And yes, they don't have a good defense, but our offense is able to play complementary football.
Finally.
Look at that.
Finally. And that's key. That's key. The complementary football for the Broncos defense was, I think, very, very helpful. Dak just 188 passing yards in this game. Yep. He threw 2 interceptions. And honestly, and we only sacked Dak twice. and I say we, I was part of the team out
You're
there.
part of it. You were out there. I saw it.
They only sacked Dak 2 times. They got some pressure in that game, but like Dallas did a pretty good job, I thought, like protecting Dak well enough against the Broncos front, which is a tough front. And Dak still couldn't get the ball to CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, or Jake Ferguson. Like the Cowboys were healthy. There's not like a thing where you're going, oh, Dallas was without CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. There's like no asterisk, right? Now the Dallas defense, I forget they lost one of their safeties in that game. So even a bad defense started to get a little banged up as well on that side. But yeah, it's the best win of the season for Denver. And Bo Nix should have had 5 passing touchdowns, Tom. He threw just a perfect pass to Cortland Sutton in the end zone, and it just bounces off Sutton's chest. It was the type of play that in other games this season, Denver has not been able to like bounce back from, but they still scored after that. And that gives me confidence. Like, you have a terrible drop, you still find ways to score. We're finding the way that they're using RJ Harvey is getting intriguing. So yeah, again, I'm going to hold off until they do something. You know, if they can put up, say, 7 points against Houston, I'm going to feel really good.
27.
Whatever.
So the Packers, they broke the curse of 27 because they actually scored more than 27 and won the game. So that was the first time that happened all season.
There you go.
One of their wins was exactly 27 points. So
at least you got the Jets right.
We hold on to anything. Yeah. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Packers super duper quick because, you know, it was kind of a big game last night.
Yeah.
Tale of two halves. Good God. The Green Bay Packers did not show up in that first half, and I thought they were cruising for a bruise. And McManus came back after missing 2 weeks, and his replacement, Haversick, in his stead, went perfect and also set the franchise record for longest field goal made. So McManus comes out. He misses, I think, is like a 54, 56 yarder. And you're like, okay, you know, just first game back, what have you. Then right before halftime, he misses a 44 yarder. And so automatically that's a 6-point swing, which would have gotten him real close. Steelers would have still been winning it after that first half. But it was like, the play calling wasn't good. There was drops that were going on. The offense kept going 3 and out. And it looked like it was going to be a tough night for the Packers. All the usual folks of Fire Matt LaFleur were all over the chat. They were so angry. They're like, Tom, are we going to fire him at halftime? And then, look what happened. The Packers came out. Jordan Love threw 20 consecutive completions. He threw for the second highest yard total in his career with 360 passing yards. He was phenomenal. Tucker Kraft, he set all career highs. He had 2 touchdowns on National Tight End Day. He had 143 yards. And the Packers offense, dude, they were rolling in that second half. They looked real damn good.
I think I saw a Tucker Kraft stat that of those 143 yards, 131 came after the catch. But yeah, Kraft was really good. Jordan Love was amazing in the second half.
He was balling.
It was cool. It was like he played well, but he was making cool throws too.
So there was a couple of deep
throws
shots
in there. It goes a long way in my book. Got to have the cool
points there. Dude, I mean, Christian Watson, this was his first game back, and he immediately made an impact. He caught 4 catches for 85 yards, and like it was a difference maker. There was the one where he's running out to the right and just like heaves it up, and it goes over the defender's hand and just into the waiting arms of Christian Watson, who's chilling inside the 10. Yeah, Love played a hell of a game, and the defense, like Keyshawn Nixon, man, in that first half was bad. He had defensive pass interference. He allowed the touchdown. He then muffed a punt, and they pulled him immediately from punt returning duty. Like, it was a rough first half.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you know, they were able to adjust in that second half, and it made a huge difference. But dude, like the pass rushers, there was no sacks for the Steelers. They sacked Aaron Rodgers 3 times. Rashawn Gary had 2 sacks. Micah Parsons had a sack. He also had 5 QB pressures. And like, this was this was a really nice game in the second half. And, while you would like them to start a little bit earlier, the fact that they were able to keep it rolling, it was a good night against their former QB.
Yeah, I think like with Green Bay, it was like those first 2 weeks, everything looked, perfect. Yeah. But similarly, Denver and Green Bay, they've gotten a handful of wins that have been just kind of weird, kind of ugly. But that's what good teams start to do, right? They find ways to win games when they're not playing their best football for a full 60 minutes.
Sure.
So that's always got to give you a little bit of confidence. And like Green Bay, Bo Nix sacked 0 times by the Cowboys defense. And quite honestly, I don't recall a single instance where the Cowboys even pressured Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Like Bo Nix could have made himself a ham sandwich during like passes. Like he could have eaten a lunch, taken a shit, had a 10-minute smoke break, come back onto the field and still had time to complete passes.
He's like, oh yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
And still swing pass.
He had the easiest game of his life, I feel like, sitting in that pocket.
Seto, yeah. I mean, there is a couple of, yesterday was a horrible day for officiating. Holy God, man. Just around the league. That Saints-Buccaneers game, that Giants-Eagles game, that offsides call, which everybody and their mother, including Aaron Rodgers and me, was like, oh, okay, that's enough. The rest did not call it on third down. So Rodgers thought he had a free play and dumped it off to the right side deep, and it winds up being incomplete. And it was like 3rd and 8, so it would have still been like 3rd and 3. But that was really bad. The last one that was counting for a TD, honestly, I give them that one. I don't really care about that. They're talking about the offensive pass interference for Tucker Kraft. That's after the defender runs into him. So I actually like the fact that there's no call there. But that offsides one was absolutely egregious. That was terrible. But the Steelers, Tree and I were talking about it after the game, the Steelers just did not show up in the second half, man. I mean, their defense was not getting any pressure on Jordan Love, and he was able to do whatever the heck he wanted. They started getting the run game going with Emmanuel Wilson, which was really nice. And yeah, they were able to get it done. So, and then DK, man, holy God. Shout out to Quay Walker for, not retaliating. But literally late in that game, DK Metcalf, he sticks his fingers into Quay Walker's eyes. He's just like, like you're watching a UFC fight. And good God, man, Quay Walker does nothing. 15-yard penalty. We take that.
Yeah.
And that's going to kill a drive.
Yeah, I remember Aqib Talib did that to, oh my God, the Colts tight end. Who was that Colts? Let's see here. Aqib Talib eye poke. Yep. Who was that? Dwayne Allen. Poked Dwayne Allen. Oh, I love that.
Dwayne Allen. There's a name. I picked him up in fantasy all the time.
Yeah. If I put it in, one of my old videos comes up in the search. Nice.
How do you feel about Franklin and Moss?
2015.
How do you feel about Franklin and Moss?
What's that? Franklin and Moss?
Yeah.
What about him?
How do you feel about them is what the question was.
I think Riley's been playing pretty well. He's going to get a pass interference every game. Yep. He had one that was justified. He had another that was just the refs. They hate white corners. So I'm going to say that. I'm just going to say it. The refs don't like white corners, and they're taking it out on poor Riley because Cooper DeJean gets a pass for whatever reason. Troy Franklin, 2 touchdowns in this game. One of his better games so far as a pro. And I think like what we saw is I think that just the things that you hoped to see from what we believe this receiving group could be.
Yeah.
Where it might not be like one guy every week outside of Sutton. But Evan Ingram, he was in the mix. Like the ball was being spread around to all the guys you brought in versus the first, majority of the season. It's just like you're either living and dying with Cortland Sutton and maybe one other guy, but this one was everybody's playing. They even got Marvin Mims involved in various ways, some in the run game. So like I was very happy with everything that the offense did. Everything. Every player played well on offense, and Quinn Miners had an incredible game blocking. Like when you've got a dude standing out because he's pancaking multiple Cowboys on one run, you're like, all right, things are going our way.
Yeah. Jack, I mean, listen, Golden, there was, it was late in that game. There was a slant route where he was open that he could have hit him for his first touchdown. Savion Williams, the rookie wide receiver, got his first touchdown last night. But listen, the ball is going around to a lot of folks. Like Malik Heath was getting involved. Obviously, Watson being back. Reed will be back eventually. So I'm not terribly surprised. As we've been saying all season, the Packers usually take their sweet ass time incorporating rookies. So I think that's just kind of where we're at right now. But I think 360 yards and 20 straight completions, I'd take that. You know, Golden can wait a little bit. Brandon with a fitting.
Oh,
for the kitty. Dude, yeah, there are some shockers yesterday. Yes, Caleb Williams. I mean, exactly. You talk about that defense. That secondary is just, you have your top 3 corners out. That's going to be pretty damn tough, man. Wide receiver screens all freaking day. But yeah, Caleb Williams did not look good. And he didn't look good last week, but they had a good defensive performance and they had a really good run game to be able to supplement that. They did not have that yesterday. And the Ravens, who still were without Lamar Jackson, you know, they were able to pull together a big win because they have needed to find themselves on the winning side of things. And who knows, like maybe this is going to wind up saving their season a bit, because Tree and I were talking about this. And one of the most frustrating things, besides the Steelers doing what they always do every single year, is that the division's wide open, right? It's the worst that it's ever been, in which the Bengals just lost to the freaking Jets, right? And they don't have Joe Burrow. The Cleveland Browns, enough said.
Lost.
And then you got the Ravens, who finally won a game, you know, and it was, again, with Tyler Huntley against the Bears. And it's just like, man, like they could be taking advantage of this. And if the Steelers were able to knock off Joe Flacco and the Bengals, I think last night's loss would not have mattered too much. But now the fact that their defense has not looked good for 2 straight weeks, and they also got injuries. Yeah, it's an issue, man. But yeah, Caleb, you struggled yesterday. It was not good.
Yeah, that's you know, if the Steelers win, if they beat the Packers, or like you said, the Bengals, they're in that position to just run away with the division. And it's still theirs to lose, right? They're 2 games up, but like they're keeping it unnecessarily close, which is gonna make it at least interesting down the stretch. But the Ravens to beat the Bears, they understood the assignment. They eliminated the Bears' rushing attack. They said, all right, if we do one thing well on defense, we're going to make sure the Bears can't run the ball effectively, which helped Baltimore control the game. Huntley coming in, he's just better. He's just better than Cooper Rush. That's
I mean, night and day.
And it was interesting, right? Because Lamar on the injury report was listed as a limited participant late last week, and then it changed to he did not participate.
He was a full participant,
it
was full, but he should have been listed as a limited participant.
Okay, yeah. It's like, okay, well,
Florio's like, the Ravens are going to get shut down as an organization.
Yeah. What's the difference between a full participant and a limited participant? Probably on a Friday practice where it's pretty much like a walkthrough, right? Like, who gives a fuck? But people started to believe he might be able to play. You and I didn't know if he was going to play when we were making our game picks on Friday. But what I like is, okay, so the Ravens, Lamar missed a couple games. They have a bye week. After the bye, everybody assumes he's going to play. And I think Lamar just knows it doesn't make sense for him to play until he's 100%. Because if Lamar Jackson re-aggravates a hamstring injury, the Ravens are absolutely effed.
Dude, and they're playing on Thursday.
Yeah. So it's a short week on top of that. So Lamar, maybe he's good to go by Thursday. That extra time to let and we've seen it too many times where it's like, it depends on the position. It depends on the type of injury, whether or not a guy can play through, something being hurt. And Lamar, I don't think he's the guy you want playing through an injury like that. He's a guy you can't have hobbled even a little bit at the position because he relies on his explosiveness. And with the Ravens win, nobody's really going to care. And it might have, it's hard to say it might have saved their season when they're sitting at 2-5 and they've looked so bad for so long, but maybe.
But that division, man, and that's the thing. Now, the last 2 times we've seen the Ravens, their defense has looked good, right? And that is something that was missing. So,
yeah,
we'll see. Brandon, I got you. Not you, Brandon. The other Brandon.
Rub our noses in the pile of piss that he left behind in Dallas. He just pissed on us right and left. There's pee everywhere. It just stinks in Dallas. He left a trail of pee right out of town.
Cowboys did that as they exited Denver as well.
How much would you say you love Skip Bayless, Brandon?
Oh, man, I love him as much as I love some pee.
Yeah.
I love a warm glass of piss.
It's true. A glass? What? Anyway, Sean, yeah, Panthers. Well, this is what Pern and I were talking about, man. Like the fact that you're giving, I understand, right? Hubbard, we all like Hubbard. Nice guy. But how are you not giving the ball to Rico Dowdle every single snap of your life? And good God, I would have never thought we're saying this, but the Panthers desperately need Bryce Young. Andy Dalton was farting it up there yesterday. He was not good. And you got to give a lot of kudos to the Bills. Their defense showed the hell up. And look, when they run the ball well with James Cook, the team does better. Lay gasp.
Yeah.
216 freaking yards, dude. Was a monster.
Yeah, James Cook.
So sad, Bailey.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, dude, what was it, 41, Nick Mangold?
Yeah.
I see Rex. Yeah,
man.
it was freaking horrible, dude.
Yeah, James Cook, 216 yards against Carolina. That makes it very easy for Josh Allen. He doesn't have to do a lot. And we've seen when Josh Allen is asked to do too much this season, the Bills have struggled. So they lost 2 games. They get the bye. They come out. They look fresh. Excuse me. Sorry.
You're okay. Just had to take a moment.
Just choking on my own spit.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Andy Dalton might have
Thank you,
choked on
Christmas.
his own spit in this.
He did. He
game.
did.
But I don't understand, like, when you find something that works as clearly as Rico Dowdle does for Carolina, and for the second week in a row, you see Chuba Hubbard getting he had like 2-point-something yards per carry last week, and they go back to it. And I don't care if you bring him in to mix things up a little bit. He probably does some dumb shit like pass protection better, and that's why the coach wants him out there. Who gives a fuck? You got Andy Dalton. Hand the ball off 25 times to Rico Dowdle and hope that carries you to victory, because you're watching your season go away. And it looked bad, and then it looked good, now it looks bad again. It's on par for every team in the South except the Buccaneers at this point. But yeah, it was an important win for Buffalo to get back, I think in the right state of mind. But Ed Oliver goes down in this game as well. I don't know what the extent of his injury is, and we'll wait to see. But Carolina can't get out of their own way, is my thought.
Let's talk about two games in particular. Which one do you want to start with? The Falcons losing to the Dolphins or the Bengals losing to the Jets?
Let's go Dolphins, because I think Bengals-Jets was the game of the week.
Yeah, I mean, Breece Hall, QB1 right now. The Dolphins, I have one question for you, Miami. Where has this been? I don't know. All season. Tua had one eye, and he was the best he was all freaking year. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And like Achane did solid, right? But he didn't have like his breakout game like he has been having. Good God, man. We've been waiting for Miami to be like, all right, this is your chance. And they just keep on crapping the bed. But yesterday, they beat the piss out of the Falcons. Holy cow.
Yeah, Tua, and it's funny too, because he had this weird eye thing pop up on the injury report, and you could see it was a swollen eye. And this week he talked about like not being able to see his receivers, and he's like, I tell him like they got to get into where I can see him. I'm not the tallest guy. Yeah. So he's talking about not being able to see the field well because of his height this week. Then he has one eye, and then he plays the best fucking game of the season.
The NFL.
I love it.
Obviously,
Falcons.
No Michael Penix today or yesterday. Robinson, 9 for 25. And I think that is the most surprising thing, because the Dolphins defense has been one of the worst in football. And then yesterday they go, you know what? We're going to show up this time.
Yeah.
We're going to do okay. Just a completely different Miami squad than what you're used to.
Yeah. And
this is not going to be a game changer by any chance, but the fact that the Falcons did not show up to this game is, dude, my faith in Atlanta has now tumbled. You know, they've already put up some performances where you're like, oh, I don't know, like that Panthers game's not good. They obviously couldn't get it going against the 49ers, but they have a good, solid defense. This one I can't justify. This one,
whatever the version of the Falcons was against the Buffalo Bills, I don't think we're going to see that Falcons team again this year. The Dolphins smartly eliminated Bijan, and Bijan had a fumble in this game where he just lost the ball. He's just running. Nobody touches him, and he fumbles the ball.
Yep.
And Drake London didn't play in this game, and Kirk Cousins was just ineffective.
Pedestrian.
Just very pedestrian. Very, like Kirk. It was the old primetime Kirk narrative. It felt like we got that version of Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
I would have liked to see Cousins have a good game here for Atlanta, but I still don't think the Dolphins are good. But, you get a 4-touchdown performance from your QB,
with one eye.
Maybe at least you just build on that. It's like the Dolphins are the most, just take the rest of this season 1 week at a time. And they don't have to, they're not going to win the division. They're not going to get into the playoffs. But if they can just put some respect on their names through the remainder of this season, I think that's going to go a long way.
Flag? Yeah, I mean, dude, you saw the potential of what they could be, right? And I think what's frustrating is we kind of figured that about the Dolphins. Is like heading into this year is like, okay, like they need to go win a playoff game. And they have just been so incredibly, brutally awful this year. Whereas like, okay, well, everybody's going to get fired. And like these kind of performances are like, all right, cool. This is what you could have. And they don't even have Tyreek Hill. And their defense is still not great. But this is also where it gets even more frustrating for Miami, especially if they're not able to do this on a consistent basis. Because then you're like, what the hell is going on? Are you looking at coaching? Are you looking at personnel? Is it a little bit of both? And they have a short week too, because they're going to be playing against the Ravens on Thursday. We'll see if that's going to be Lamar Jackson. But now, at least that game is a little bit more intriguing. Because before that, I was like, this is going to be an awful game.
Yeah, it's probably still going to turn out to be that for reasons we can't even predict at this moment, Tom.
Sure.
But, what was I going to say? Oh my God. Yeah, with the Dolphins. Okay, so I mentioned Tua playing his best with one eye. You said no Tyreek Hill. And also another guy who is a bright spot for him, Darren Waller, also done, right?
Yeah.
Like he's injured. They put him on IR. So like down two of your top receiving targets so far this season, really, for Tua. Tua's banged up, and now they look great. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Falcons defense,
they started to look so good, and now they're. Thank you, Atlanta.
Not good. Yeah, dude. Giants. Holy crap, man. Skattebo, he's got to get surgery. Dislocated ankle. Surgery. Dude, he already had it last night.
He had it last night, and it went well from what I heard today.
But dude, it just sucks, man. And seeing like the whole, even like Eagles fans who were in the stands, they were just like standing ovation, man. Just because Skattebo, he's been so much fun to watch. And I mean, it was a rough game for the Giants just in general. And after having last week happen against the Broncos, and then to follow it up with Skattebo's season likely being done, and on top of that, bad officiating, you lose to the Eagles. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. So Ed Oliver tore his biceps.
Yes.
So that sucks. Let me see. What was the Skattebo injury update? I feel like I heard Ian Rappaport say that the surgery went well and it wasn't quite as bad as it looked.
It's good.
It looked horrific.
It looked bad.
Ankle was the wrong way, which is never good. But I thought like Skattebo, right? Like, one, he's important to the Giants. Two, he has this identity of just being tough, right? Just a tough ass running back. And even in that injury, he didn't really flinch. He was on the ground and he was just like calling for people to get over there. You saw him leave on the cart. Like, we've seen so many guys rightfully break down when something like that happens. But he was just like, just leaving the field like this. Like, he didn't just have his ankle sideways. You know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe it happened later, but I'm like, holy fuck. If that was me, I would be making the biggest scene anybody has ever seen. I would want the entire stadium to feel the pain that I was in. And turns out, Brandon just tweaked his hamstring slightly, but it looked like it was pretty bad. Skattebo, I hope he can make a full recovery from this. You never know. Like, I think one of the weirdest injuries are those breaks, those fractures where I think somebody said his bone was out of his skin.
I thought it said a compound fracture. Yeah.
And it is so weird because you see him, and obviously like Alex Smith went through one of the most horrific ones and his leg broke in so many ways. And then sometimes something will break and look like that. And they're like, well, it was a clean break. And since it was just the bones that were injured, the healing process will be, quick, and it's better than if they tore any ligaments.
Yeah. Rappaport said, so dislocated ankle, season's over, expected to make full recovery and be ready for 26.
Yeah. He's not coming back this year, but knowing that he should be able to make a full recovery is, that's all you could hope for as a Giants fan after that. But Giants 100% cursed as well.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They're so cursed. And while we're on this game, Saquon, did you already talk about this?
So no, because Saquon actually, holy crap, Saquon Barkley's back. There we go.
Saquon and
they found him.
Both go over. Tank Bigsby, Saquon, both go over 100. Saquon had like $150. Then he tweaked his groin. Jalen Hurts quietly threw 4 touchdowns as well in this game. I think like 179 passing yards and 4 TDs. And it was maybe the most poorly officiated game of the weekend. Jalen Hurts 100% fumbles on the tush push.
Yeah.
And the play was not actually blown dead early. So if you watch that play, the whistle comes, but it's after the fumble, which then Brian Daboll tried to challenge, but then they said they had already ruled his forward progress had been stopped, which is a subjective call by the refs. And since they did not blow the whistle, even though in their minds that they believe forward progress has been stopped, they can still look at that play and go, oh, you know what? His forward progress was not stopped. And since the whistle did not actually blow at that moment, we can award the ball to the Giants. But they did not do that. And then there was also a touchdown taken away from the Giants. What the hell was that touchdown play? Why did that get called back? Tell me in the comments right now. Why did the Giants touchdown get called back? What was that other bad call?
It was, let's see here. Was it the Slayton one?
Maybe. No. It was a push off. It was an OPI. Yeah, they got something for Slayton. Yes, the offensive pass interference, which I think in real time looked a little bit worse. But then when you saw the replay, like, oh God, Giants just got. I don't think the Giants win that game, but those are 2 huge calls. Huge calls that they got wrong. Sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, the Buccaneers too, speaking of whistles, you had 2 different issues, right? Because that was a return for a touchdown that should have been. And then they're like, oh yeah, no, there was a whistle. And they watched that replay live. There was no whistle. Like nobody was hearing nothing. So I don't know, man. It's let's talk about the Eagles real quick. Saquon, like they played a really complete game. And after Jalen Hurts threw for over 300 yards last week, and now they follow it up with Saquon having an amazing performance, you start feeling a lot more confident about Philadelphia, right? That maybe they're figuring it out near the halfway point of the season, and then it's for the rest of the NFC. Because if they're actually able to run the ball with Saquon and Hurts is looking good, they're going to be a dangerous team.
Yeah, and they did it without A.J. Brown in this one too. So, like, I would have liked to see the Eagles do it, without the Skattebo injury. And not just for like the injury's sake, right? We don't ever want to see that shit. But like, I would have liked to see the Eagles play this game and win this way while at least knowing the Giants had the best version of who they currently are, which is already, without Malik Neighbors and that those types of deficiencies on their roster, and they lose Skattebo in this game. No way I thought the Giants were going to win after that happened. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no.
But game of the week.
Game of the week. Yeah. Breece Hall, welcome back, buddy. Great to see you. He is not only did he have 3 touchdowns and one was a pass. That throw too was the most. Screw it. Something's gonna happen, and it might be an interception. But coming down with that football, man. Yeah. How about those freaking Jets getting their first win of the season?
Yeah.
Bengals.
And I don't know if I like the Jets with the game on the line put the ball in their running back's hands to throw the game-winning touch. Like, I don't think that's what a smart team would do, Tom.
No.
But they did it, and it worked, and it was freaking awesome. And Breece Hall, before he Uncle Rico'd that shit or whatever, he pump faked it. And I think he was thinking to throw it, and he's like, no, the guy's covered. Maybe I should run it. And then he's like, no, I can't run it. Then he threw it to the corner of the end zone, and it floated back there perfectly for who caught that pass? Was that Mason Taylor, I believe, catching the game winner? And this is the same week for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Who Woody Johnson just crapped on him for no reason this week. Just the dumbest thing you can listen to an owner say about his quarterback, right? Like, can't win many games with the way our quarterback's playing. Do you see his rating? And we're like, what rating are you talking about, Woody? It's his Madden rating, isn't it, Woody? Shitty owner. Fields going through the ringer. Justin, after the game, talks about how he broke down in his closet crying this week. Like, you never hear players be that vulnerable about the shit they're going through, how hard this is on them. And he comes out, he gets a surprise win against the red hot Bengals. Love it for Justin Fields. Jets get their first win. They really needed it. And it makes sense that it happened against the Bengals in this fashion.
Yep. And dude, I'm happy for Justin Fields, because he's just 500 yards of offense. Jesus.
Look at that. 5. That's how bad the Bengals defense is, by the way.
Because Hendrickson was out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have missing time.
Their only defensive player was out. So,
yeah.
Dude,
it's that's freaking. But they were able to find their run game, and I think that probably surprised the Bengals more than anything because Breece Hall has been so ineffective this year, and to be able to be like, oh look, now we found a win. Yeah, I'm happy for Justin Fields, man, and the Bears lost. So what a great combo! What a great combo for this Packers fan.
Yeah, there's this thing we all know Justin Fields has not played well this season. And then you see your owner not back you up. You're like, God, that's just kind of sad. And it turns out it was quite literally sad for Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
And so when a guy's down, we love when they come out and they get a win, a little bit of a redemption story, even if it's only for a week. Like, I don't care. I'm happy to see Fields win. Who do they play next? Oh, they get the Browns next. That's going to be ugly.
Hendrickson, left with a hip injury.
Yeah, but anyway. This game was fun. This game had my attention in the morning slate.
It was good.
And Samaje Perine, too. Like, he had a 32-yard touchdown run. I'm like, Samaje?
Hey, it's true, Malo. I mean, they've needed a deep threat for a minute. They have the Bills, but James Cook. That's all they freaking needed yesterday. Cleveland, New England, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks.
Yeah.
And it's the first time in NFL history that a player's had 5 sacks and they've lost by more than 3 points. Drake May. Drake
had a perfect second half, basically. I think he was 8 for 8. All 3 of his touchdowns came in the third quarter there. But Dylan Gabriel... We're just counting down to Shedeur at this point.
I think we're getting closer to Shedeur Sanders time.
Yeah. Poor Gabriel. He had a Those final 2 points for New England, they came via a safety. And it was Gabriel in the end zone getting dinged for intentional grounding. And he just threw the ball away to nobody. And even his throwaway was a check down safety. And I was just like, oh, man, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I mean, talking about May for a minute, it feels like every week we've been talking about him.
Yeah,
like he is putting together like one hell. And even though he got the crap beaten out of him yesterday, behind a good Browns defense, heading into this game, I was like, all right, this might be closer. And for the first half, it was pretty close. It was a decently close game. And then, like you said, second half, they just started running away with this thing. And Drake May was just dropping dimes again. He's damn good, man. He's damn good.
Yeah, it was a tough first half in this football game, right? Like,
yep.
It was close. The Browns defense was doing what we've seen the Browns defense do several times this year, and that's play very good football. Mm-hmm. Myles Garrett, I think he's got 112 and a half sacks now on his career. He's got the most sacks for any player under the age of 30 ever. He is ridiculous. And you rarely see a guy with 5 sacks angrily throwing his helmet on the sidelines because they took him out of the game late. Like the game was over and they didn't want him out there. And he was pissed that they were getting their ass kicked and he was the only guy playing well. But you know what? I don't feel sorry for Myles Garrett. He asked to be traded and then he took money. He took a ton of money to stay with the Browns. Should have left, Myles. Should have stuck to your guns and left. You want to win, Myles? You got to leave Cleveland, my friend. It is not going to happen there. Not now. Not next year. Not the year after. When the Browns start to win, you're going to be retired. I believe that in my heart of hearts about that organization.
Most likely. And you know what? Get that money, dude. But this, unfortunately, is going to be the consequence. You're on a not so great football team right now.
Terrible team.
Oh, it was bad, Goose. It was bad. Yeah, hopefully he's good to go for next year. But it's tough because you were getting excited about the Giants. Even like they were just gonna be a fun team to watch. So that's very kind of you. I appreciate you. Other games that I want to talk about super duper quick here. That Tampa Bay New Orleans game, that was weird. That was a very weird game. Mayfield did not have his best game again. Listen, I know that they are missing just about everybody at this point when it comes to receivers and running backs, but that was ugly. The turnovers, Spencer Rattler, Shook got some playing time. So
yeah,
maybe we're going to start to see a little bit of a shift. But you had fumbles that were on both teams. So Baker lost a fumble. What was it? Shaheed who fumbled as well. I think Rattler had a fumble as well. But yeah, one of those getting called back. It was just
5 total turnovers in this game. But the Bucs got to win, right? It was about the ugliest win they're probably going to be able to get all year.
Yep.
23-3 in a game that they should have, their offense should have played better in this game. That's why you're like, oh man. But they're still waiting for Bucky.
The Buccaneers need a bye week. Like they need this
one
so badly. So.
Moving on to Tyler Shuck. We'll see if the Saints continue with that. But yeah, we know the Saints are bad. You would like to see Tampa Bay play better.
Yeah.
But they got the win.
Dude, Jonathan Taylor right now, he's my MVP. He's my MVP, man. The consistency it's incredible. And, you never know if those divisional games, when you're talking about the Buccaneers Saints, this is a divisional game too. And this game never really got out of hand for the Colts. They're firing on. I mean, again, like the Titans are a bad football team. Don't get me wrong. But like the Colts are freaking good, man.
Yeah.
They are a consistent ass football team. And considering that like that has been probably one of the most glaring issues for teams this year about being consistent and injuries, the Colts are finding a way to stay healthy and also just winning freaking football games.
Yeah, defense plays well every week. Offense plays well every week. Special teams is good. And it's like the safest bet right now is Jonathan Taylor scoring 3 touchdowns every week, which is just
so good.
That's insane. And
I
we just did a video. I just did a video Saturday about like the weird MVP race. And Jonathan Taylor's the guy I make a case for towards the end of the video. And he just triple stamped that. Yeah. And even though you can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lloyd, he did it. He did it. And like we're talking about Jonathan Taylor as the best player on the Colts in a game where Daniel Jones also threw for 3 touchdowns, right? Like, that's how good Taylor's been. And Michael Pittman had probably the most insane catch of the week, too, in this game. Like, just used his bicep to bring in the ball one-handed.
Oh, my God. Michael Pittman's a monster, man. He's like phenomenal.
But it's, it's against the Titans. So, like, you're like, okay, yeah, fine. Poor Tennessee. Got worked by the Colts. But 38, you put up on a division opponent. I don't care. It's impressive. Yeah. Every week, we're like, the Colts are still good. And I think people are waiting for that week where they can go, I told you the Colts aren't good. They're frauds. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen for Indy.
I mean, I think it's because it's like we were talking about on Friday, having a good defense, which is a lot better than where it was last year, and a good ground game, you're going to win a lot of football games. And Daniel Jones is not making mistakes, man. No. 3 touchdown performance. Like, it's
too good.
That's too good. Should every owner be hanging out on the sideline? Yes. So that tomatoes could be thrown if necessary.
Yeah.
I think so.
You're talking about the Colts owner?
Dude. Alex Pierce, dude. Pierce? Alec, but yes.
Big play Pierce. Piercing the defense.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm sure that JT won't win MVP because they never give it to a running back. No. But right now, because it was Baker, right? And then, these last 2 weeks, I know he's been dealing with some injuries too. But right now, it's Jonathan Taylor for me, man. He's the most consistent player.
Well, and that's what's tough for Jonathan Taylor. Because Saquon last year had as good a case as any running back has had since Adrian Peterson last won MVP for the league. Mm-hmm. And it didn't go to Saquon Barkley last year. And he didn't even receive a single first place vote for that award. And my conclusion is the voters, I think they're too scared to vote for a running back, Tom, because there's always going to be like a quarterback or two that are kind of in the mix. And I think voters are scared to allow the MVP to go to the quarterback that they don't want to win the award. So last year it was between like Lamar and Josh Allen. And there's people who are like, I can't let Lamar win it again. And there's people like, I don't want Josh Allen to win the award when I know Lamar's playing better. And instead of being like, you know what? Actually, Saquon's the MVP. They use their vote for one of the 2 main parties.
Yeah.
They're too scared to vote third party. And we're never going to see it.
Hey,
how many touchdowns and yards does Taylor need to force the voters?
2,500 yards
and like 40 rushing touchdowns. He's got to shatter.
He'll still come in second place though.
Like, no, you know what? Actually, it was Josh Allen again.
Yep.
It was Patrick Mahomes.
That's it. Tonight is not going to be, I don't think, a great game. We got the Commanders, Jaden Daniels going up against the Chiefs. Not going to be a whole lot of fun, I think. I got the Chiefs winning this game, and it's being played at Arrowhead, right? Yeah, I feel like they're always playing at home.
Did the Chiefs always just get Arrowhead?
I feel like it's always at home. They got the Bills next week, which let's go. After the Bills put up a dominant performance, let's go. Let's play some ball here. But yeah, no, I'm super duper excited for next week. But tonight we'll be streaming it, but I don't think it's going to be the best game.
Oh,
Commanders about to shock the world.
This is going to be the 3rd home game in a row for the Chiefs.
That's why. Okay.
2 of which were prime time. They got the Ravens at home. They had the Eagles at home, even though they lost that game. Yeah, man. The schedule makers, they favor the Chiefs as well. They got to go to Buffalo, though, and Denver. And then they'll get the Colts November 23rd.
It'll be fun. Do you think Denver can win the West?
I mean, anything's possible this year. Yeah.
Oh, the West was won.
Pooping at the airport. Nice, Nick.
Nice. No, popping.
Oh, man.
Popping. It's not 2 O's.
Nick. I remember that. The United Club from last night.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Vikings, they need to start JJ McCarthy yesterday. Hopefully we get to see him soon. Lions almost had a perfect bye week, but those pesky Packers
Yeah.
get in that win. Can't do it.
Come on, Mariota. Give us an all-time performance, Marcus.
Imagine. Perna, what do you got coming out today, brother?
Should have our Broncos recap coming up here pretty soon.
Nice. About an hour and a half ago, I put out the Packers recap. We have the Packers reaction late last night. You can go check that out. And then today will either be scripted or Every Fans, and of course, we'll be streaming tonight as well. So it'll be one or the other, maybe both if I get real crazy. But folks, we appreciate the hell out of you. We'll be back on Wednesday, which if I'm not mistaken, is that somebody's birthday on Wednesday?
Yes.
You sounded very confident in that, right?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
I will be celebrating by going to the DMV.
What do you gotta do? Like a new driver's test because you're so old, or like
Gotta go get the old proof the eyes you can still see.
Oh, good.
Hey, why are you talking like that? Well, I'm 41 now, so
Yeah, 41. Now it's just. But we'll celebrate on a little GPS. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. His last show while he's 40. And you have been navigated.
When you reach your
destination.